Hi guys, Russell here from homebrewrepublic.co.nz. Welcome to today's brew review. Today we're checking out the Mangrove Craft Series Mixed Berry Cider. Let's get into it. Hi guys, Russell here from homebrewrepublic.co.nz. Welcome to today's brew review. Today we're checking out the Mangrove Craft Series Mixed Berry Cider. Here's what we're going to get. According to the label, a sweet apple base with a refreshing burst of summer berries, including delicious raspberries and black currants. Serve over ice. Right, ABV approximately 5.6%. Nice little bit of kick there. What I'm going to say is let's get into this review. We'll check out the kit and we'll get the cider on. This is the kit itself, guys, and I would reiterate that these ciders are part of the Craft Series range, and these are awesome pouches. So number one, they're cold filled with nitrogen flushed technology, which basically means we're getting the oxygen out and we're protecting the integrity and the unique flavors of the extract which is in here. So good quality extract. The other thing with these pouches is they're two-sided. So on one side we've got a wet side, and on the other side we've got a dry side. On the wet side what we have is our extract. On the dry side what we have is the additional ingredients we will use with these kits, which include in this case some flavoring, some sweetener and craft quality yeast. So if we open this up and check it out, man, that berry pulp smells awesome. Massive berry flavors coming out right there. Okay, hopefully you can kind of see this. So like I said, wet side. Clever little separator in the middle, dry side. Alright, comprehensive step-by-step instructions, Craft Series yeast, additional flavouring, and the last ingredient, sweetener. Alright, that's the kit. Let's get back to what we're brewing. Alright guys, let's talk about how we're going to pull this brew together. Everything you need to know is in these step-by-step comprehensive instructions. It's well laid out, it's simple, it's easy to follow. First ingredient is our yeast. It's a Craft Series yeast. The key message with this yeast is the fermentation temperature range. According to the back of the pack, the recommended, or it basically says here must. We must ferment between 12 and 28 degrees Celsius. Now that by itself is quite a wide range, which most people should be able to fit into year round. What I would say though is that Mangrove Jacks have recently made a change. So what they used to do is on the back of their yeast is publish a suitable fermentation temperature range and an ideal. Now the suitable used to be the upper and lower limit and tended to be a bit wider, and the ideal was a little bit narrower. That 12 to 28 to me looks like the suitable. On the instructions, which haven't been updated, it says to ferment between 18 and 24 degrees, which is what I remember the ideal fermentation temperature range being. So it says here, like I said on the back, must be between 12 and 28. I would suggest the ideal or a nice sweet spot is between 18 and 24 degrees. I'm going to be putting this into my temperature controlled fridge, so we will pull through at about 18. Next up, additional flavouring. Interestingly, I've had a few questions about the flavouring in these kits. Some inside our Facebook group, which is Homebrew Republic Kit Brewers. Feel free to track that down and check it out. Another one was on one of the, I think it was the apple cider video, which was also on YouTube. I'll chuck the link up on the screen. And the question was, do I have, one of the questions was, do I have to add all of this? What I would say, so first up, the instructions say to add all of this. It doesn't give an alternative option. So that would be my first guideline, is yes, add it all. My second guideline is, whenever you brew a kit for the first time, just brew it as it is. Brew it according to the instructions. What that will do is give you an idea of the base flavor profile and the base characteristics you're dealing with. If you want to experiment after that, for example, reducing the amount of flavoring you're putting in, go for gold afterwards, but get an idea of what the base profile is first. So either way, all that flavoring is going in. According to the instructions, that flavoring goes in. Ooh. I should have known that before I started recording this. We'll pick it up later when we chuck it in. Flavoring. Okay, this is a variable ingredient. You have three choices. You can go for a dry finish, you can go for a sweet finish, or you can go for an off-dry finish. Play it down the middle. If you want to go for a dry finish, do not add the sweetener, get rid of it. If you want to go for a sweet finish, add all of the sweetener. If you want to go for an off-dry finish, add half of the sweetener. For me, I don't notice a massive difference between the dry and the sweet, or the off-dry and the sweet, or either or. And if yeah, so I'm just going to add it all. That's the easy way to go. Chuck it all in. The other ingredient, this guy here, cider enhancer. So you need an additional fermentable ingredient. You could use 1K of dextrose, that will do you fine. Cider enhancer is intended to, according to this, best for boosting crisp, refreshing cider. Elevate the flavour, body and mouthfeel of your craft cider. This, like a bag of dextrose, is $5 or $6. That's 15 to 17, so it's about 3 times the cost. I kind of look at it and go, I've already gone to the expense of a craft series cider kit, so I'm going to go the whole 9 yards. And if I'm being honest, the last 3 brews I've done the lime, raspberry and lime, I've done the pear, and I've done the apple. And from my perspective, the finished product these produce is as good as what I would get out of a store-bought bottled cider. So I'm more than happy to go with the cider enhancer. All that said, I'm going to say too much talking, not enough brewing. Let's get this brew on. Done. Welcome to the garage, ladies and gentlemen. Got our temperature controller up there, starting to adjust, set for 18 degrees. Temperature on the therm strip is 24, right at the top end of the recommended range for the yeast. My thermometer for the temperature controller is just down there. I'll get that hooked up when we're finished. I neglected to properly talk through process before. I was in a bit of a rush. But one of the other things I did check is I looked at the length of the recording to make this brew, and it took me 12 minutes. So that's another thing. Yeah, I love about kit brewing. It's quick and easy, eh? Yeah, so 12 minutes to mix this brew up, get it in the fermenter. It's been down here cooling down. In terms of process, what we're going to do now is pitch the yeast. What the instructions have said is at the same time we pitch the yeast, we are pitching our sweetener, remembering we had 3 choices: dry, off-dry or sweet, meaning no sweetener some sweetener or all. I'm going for all. So the word of the instructions, we will leave it 7 days or until the bubbler stops, and then we'll start checking our gravity to check if gravity is finished. I've taken my I've taken my trial glass to take my original gravity reading. I haven't tested original gravity yet. By the way, once gravity is finished, we will add once gravity is stable for 2 days, indicating that fermentation is finished, we will add the flavouring. We then leave it for a further 24 hours and then we bottle. I have seen on Mangrove Jack's website they specifically recommend against using finings with cider unless you are kegging. We are bottling, so I won't be using finings. The other thing I would say is, even without finings, the ciders come up awesome. I've never had a problem with the finish in these. All that said, guys, let's get that lid off and get that sweetener and that yeast in. Alright guys, what I did is I gave it a stir with a sanitised spoon to oxygenate normally I'd say wort for beer. Not sure what we call this. Either way, you get the idea. There's our sweetener. All in. I'm not too worried about mixing it, that'll do its thing. And finally, our cider, yeast, MO2, Mangrove Jack's Craft Series. Boom. Bob's the uncle. Too easy, eh guys? Alright, all that said, I have a batch of beer to go bottle. So at this point, I will see you in about 7 or 8 days to put some flavouring in. Cheers! Right, this brew has been in here for 12 days. Gravity is not quite where it's meant to be based on the instructions, so the guide published on the Mangrove Jack's website suggests that we're meant to get down to 1.000. This is currently 1.007, bit higher than what we want, but gravity's been constant now for 4 days and we've been sitting inside the target temperature, so I'll take it. That there is the flavouring. It's opened. Let's get the lid off, get it in and go from there. Here we go. Certainly looks pretty good. Right, flavouring. In. Bob's your uncle. Okay, that was the last step. What the instructions said to do was now leave it another, was it 24 or 48? One of the two. Either way, for me, it's going to be 24, because what I'm going to do is put this lid back on and at the same time start my cold crashing process. So my goal is bottling tomorrow night. All that said, next time I see you will be the official taste test. Cheers guys! Hey guys, Russell here. Bonus clip coming now. Okay, today is January the 2nd, so Happy New Year. This is my first brew of the year and I just made the rookie error of the century. I'll get to that in a second. So essentially what's happened is we've been cruising through Christmas, cruising through summer, cruising through New Year's, and I'm moving through my stock of homebrew quicker than what I want to. So I thought I'd get a quick brew on. I always say this, but the reason I like the ciders is they're quick to brew, but I also feel they don't need anywhere near as long in the bottle to bottle mature before they're ready. So basically I'll get a quick cider on to top up my stock and fill the gap to the end of summer, which is exactly what I was doing. I wasn't even going to put this on camera, but what I did, I had the sanitizing solution in my barrel. I went away, I did something else, I came back, didn't think, and started pouring the extract on top. Luckily I caught myself, so I probably, I don't know, dropped about a third of the pack. So what I did, apart from discarding the sanitized extract solution and re-sanitizing my barrel, I weighed what was left. I chucked that pack on a set of scales, so I knew I dropped about a third. So I've adjusted my approach and I've just dropped the amount of water I'm putting in, so I'm keeping the ratios correct. So this is only a 15 litre brew, but I'm also making this brew with what I had to hand, which was not much. But I had these 2 cans of brewing sugar. Now, had this been a full brew, the target ABV on this is 5.6%. So had everything gone well and I was making a full 23 litres, one of these would have been required to go with this, and I've put 2 in. So had this been a full brew, I would have expected this to hit around the 7 to 8% mark. Because this is now a partial brew, I'm expecting this to come in at more like 8 to 9%. We'll see how we go. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my initial gravity reading. I'm going to get this down to the garage and get it fermenting. It will be in temperature control, and I will come back to this. I'm going to bring this brew into the brew review, or the official brew review, or the official taste test with the original brew we did. So Happy New Year, guys. Cheers. Catch you soon. Hi guys, welcome back to the official taste test for the Mangrove Jack's Craft Series Mixed Berry Cider. What do you reckon we check this out? Bottle, glass, pouring. Here we go, guys. What do you reckon? That's pretty good, eh? What we have is a really, really beautiful colour. It's nice. Exactly as we have come to expect from the Craft Series Cider range. Real easy drinking. What I would say, absolutely no surprises. Berry notes coming off the top and a really, really nice mixed berry flavour coming through. What we do get as well is some apple back notes which come through from the cider enhancer that we use, but it's still really, really nice. The feedback on this was pretty much the same as I've had with every other cider. Really easy drinking, really crisp, really easy going, and great on a summer afternoon. One person in particular who I shared this with, I know they shared it with their wife, who really liked it to the degree that he jumped in and grabbed this as one of his next kits, because in turn it was something that he could share with his partner, which was really cool. Again, my feedback on this would be really, really consistent with the other cider kits I've done. They all have pretty much the same theme. They come out crisp, they come out clean, they come out into a really, really high quality every time. They're always really easy drinking and they're always really flavoursome. And like I always say, they're a great alternative to beer and wine, and an easy crowd pleaser. The other thing I always say, and every time I appreciate, is these don't require the same length of time to bottle mature as, in my mind, what beer does. And so what that means is we can get a brew down, and then within 10 days of bottling, we can be drinking and enjoying, which is really awesome. So here we are, guys, the Mangrove Jack's Craft Series Mixed Berry Cider. But review's not over yet. We've got a second bottle. We're going to check out the, I'm just going to say the words, modified high ABV brew that I made in the middle of this video. So let me grab another glass and we're going to get the second bottle open. Right, so this is the brew that I chucked on in the middle of the video. And like I said, the reason I chucked it on is I needed to top up the brews I had on hand, and I knew that this would come through quickly. So let's get it into the glass. There we go, guys. Again, really exceptional finish on that in terms of colour, clarity. Alright, now this brew. So let's just review what happened. So epic failure on my part, right? First brew of 2024 and I completely botched it. I made a fully classic error. I had sanitising solution on the bottom of my fermenter. I got distracted, I went away, I came back, forgot I hadn't taken it out, and I started putting the extract on top. What that resulted in was me losing a portion of my extract. How I dealt with that was I weighed the remaining extract so that I knew essentially how much I'd lost, and then I was able to reduce the water in my fermenter accordingly. So the first negative impact there is I lost a good third, if not 40% of the volume I would normally have got. The other thing this has led to, I think I got the water and the extract approximately right, but you'll remember with the ciders there's a second flavouring kit which we add to the cider towards the end of fermentation. That one there I was far less scientific in terms of how I determined how much of that to put in, and at the time I remember going, I probably put proportionately more in than the water that was there for. So what that has meant is that there is a far richer or sweeter flavour in terms of the flavouring, maybe not sweeter, there's a far richer flavour coming through in terms of those berry flavours than compared to this one. The best way I can think to describe it, and in saying this, I'm not comparing these cider kits to fruit syrups, but something like a Ribena, right? If the recommended dose was 1 capful for 200 mils, and you wanted 200 mils of water, and you wanted a stronger flavour, so you used 2 capfuls to get a stronger flavour. That's kind of what's happened here. We've wound up with a stronger flavour. But to be really clear, I'm not comparing these kits to juice concentrates. I'm just trying to use that as the example to illustrate the difference in the flavour that we've got here. So I guess, not that I think these kits need it, because I think they're really nice and flavoursome by themselves, but if you were looking for more richness, more depth, more sweetness in that flavour, reducing the water is one way. The water content in the fermenter would be one way to achieve that. This one here I found to be on the still enjoyable, but maybe a little bit much in terms of that flavour for me. I much preferred it light and easy as it's meant to be. The second major piece with this brew is the ABV. Where this has come out is over 8%. It was about 8.3 from memory. And so bear in mind that, I'll loop back to this, that has in part only happened because we reduced, in this context, because we reduced the water. It wouldn't normally have gone up that high. Haven't enjoyed it. At 8.3%, it's a little bit strong for me, and what it's meant is that this isn't an easygoing summer afternoon session drink. In contrast, it is drink with caution. So this has been more of a have one at the end of dinner kind of thing, rather than have a few on the deck on a Sunday afternoon, which can have consequences. So for me, at that level, I felt the ABV was too high, and I wouldn't intentionally take the ABV up that high in these ciders again. If we go back to that whole modifying ABV and the water level in this brew. So number one, remember again, we only reduced the water in the fermenter for this brew because of my mess up at the start. I wouldn't normally have done that. And with these kits, sure, if you want to get more richness in the flavour, go for it, but I wouldn't generally do it with these kits. I think the flavour's fine at full volume, and they're a premium product and they're a pricey kit, so I don't really want to give up the yield. Like I said, I lost, by reducing the water, I lost the number of bottles that I got out of it. I reduced the bottles that I got in return. So I wouldn't reduce the water standardly. Let's go across to the higher ABV piece. This brew by itself was hitting about 5.5%. So this guy here came in, I think the target ABV was 5.6. He came in just shy of that, he was about 5.3. Even that at 5.3, that's got a little bit of kick to it, right? Like that's not a lightweight in terms of the alcohol content. This guy here, over 8%. And if what you were trying to do, for whatever reason, if what you're trying to do is lift the ABV up, your two levers normally, one is reduce water volume, we've just talked about that. The other lever is increase the volume of fermentable sugar that you add to the brew. And we did that anyway, right? So standardly what these kits need is essentially the enhancer kit or 1 kg of fermentable sugar. In our case, we used liquid brewing sugar. Now what we did was we added 2 tins of liquid brewing sugar. So where we probably would have wound up under normal circumstances, had we had the full amount of water, would have been around the 7 to 7.5 mark. So that's still getting up there. You don't have to add a full kg. So as an example, we could have just added, if we were just trying to lift it a little bit, we could just grab some dextrose and add half a kg of dextrose, right? So there is some flexibility there. But I guess where you want the ABV is completely up to you. My personal preference with these kits is do them as they are. 5%, like I said, got a little bit of kick to it anyway, and still makes it a really nice, reasonably sessionable and friendly afternoon brew. What I did find with these, like I've already shared how I felt about the high ABV, I just felt it was too much and it made it not less enjoyable to drink, but also less enjoyable to share. I did warn people and less people were keen on it. I had a lot less people happy to have a glass or two when they were around socially. It got less uptake if it was just out as a general drink. So yeah, it's kind of where I stand on that. But the ABV piece aside, like I said, great flavour, great looking brew, has a lot of other stuff going for it. Where are we? So first of all, if you've watched this far in the video, thank you, really appreciate your support. Feel free to like us, give us a big thumbs up, subscribe. If you've got any questions or comments, chuck them down below. I do genuinely engage and always get back to people. The other thing I would say is other brews. What have we got? I've got a lager. That will most likely be the next brew review that comes. It was the Black Rock Mexican Cerveza. I don't know if you can see it, there's a couple of crates over there. I've got to take them down to the garage. That is a Mangrove Jack's Craft Series single hop Sabro IPA. And in the fermenter now is another cider. It's a peach and passion fruit. I think it's peach and passion fruit. Yeah, Mangrove Jack's Craft Series range. My next brew, which is going to be going down in about 3 days' time, is going to be the Black Rock Miner's Stout. Particularly excited about this. I'm going to do a coffee milk stout for the recipe brew, and I'm going to do the standard brew or the basics brew alongside it. All that said, guys, last thing to mention is remember we've got a Facebook group, Home Brew Republic Kit Brewers. It's growing, which is really, really cool to see, and the more people that come in, the conversations are just getting more engaging and better. There's a great bunch of people in there who love talking about brewing. If you're a new brewer, come on in and bring your questions. The guys in there are happy to help. If you're a seasoned brewer, come on in, share your brews, share your tips, share your recipes. We'd love to hear what you guys are doing. So that Facebook group again is Home Brew Republic Kit Brewers. jump on our website www.homebrewrepublic.co.nz and you will find the link to that group, and of course a great range of amazing products, kit brewing products for cider and beer. All that said, guys, I'm going to say thank you for watching. Cheers. Catch you next time.
Cheers.